Now the Crimson Branch, right, it kind of sounds like a supervillain club of sorts, and in a way it kind of is, if that club was full of douchebags who kept stealing all of your shit and using the same bloody weapons over and over again, while also saying the same lines over and over again. Now welcome on in, you beautiful feckers, how you all doing? Our Warframes are apparently going into the slave trading business, boys. First we were the saviours of the galaxy, then it became clear that we are in fact mercenaries that will do anything for a bit of extra ferrite, and now we're branching into trading Kuva Lich slaves, you know, Bop Bip and Butches and all of the best slaves, you know. I'm starting to think that maybe we're the bad guys. Imagine if that was the overall arc or the end story to what this game was all about. You start off thinking that you are of course the good guy and turn out being the bad guy. So anyway, the Crimson Branch update dropped for Warframe last night. The update that will finally allow us to trade converted, has to be converted, Kuva Liches with friends or with clanmates or with people in your clan so that they can get a weapon or you can get a weapon or an ephemera that you might not have. Now you do this trading in a room called the Crimson Branch in your clan dojo, a room that you need to build first, and this is what that room looks like. Right now it's pretty bare, only one trade terminal, but eventually, or apparently, this room is what we will use for all of our Kuva Liches, our Infested Liches, or Corpus Liches, or whatever they're going to be called when the different faction variants drop. It is of course the Nemesis room, or the boss room, that was shown off on a dev stream several internet years ago, which is what we do in Warframe. Now the room will get bigger and have details for every faction Lich, that's basically what it's going to be. Now it is worth pointing out that you can't trade for a new Lich once you have one actively hunting you. You need to either kill that Lich or convert it before you can trade for a new one. It is also worth pointing out that these Liches can only be traded once. You can't trade them on a second time, so if you get one from your friend Billy, you're not going to be able to trade it on to your friend Jimmy. You understand? Which means you're not going to jump into a mission and see 4 different Bop Bips running around helping teammates. Now with this update, you're also going to stop getting dupes of weapons one after another, which is great, but that doesn't mean that you won't still get dupes, just not of the same weapon one after another. So you could still get a Kraken, then an Archon, then a Kraken, then an Archon, then a Kraken, then an Archon, and on and on and on until you just keep crying. This, along with the trading system, I would hope will alleviate some of the problems getting all of the Kuva weapons a lot quicker than what we can right now. And just to show some of you console guys, because I know it's gone to cert for you this update, so you should have it pretty soon, or some of you players who never bothered touching the Kuva Lich system because of the RNG, this is how bad the RNG can be with regards to dupes. This is one of my mods on my Discord, and this is all of his Kuva Lich attempts so far. 29 kills, 29 weapons, and a whole lot of dupes. Still not managed to get his hands on the Kuva Shakur, but he'll be able to get it now because of the trading. Also with this update, your Requiem mods can now be recycled. 4 of those defiled mods can now be transmuted into one fully charged Requiem mod. Again, this should help some of the grind, not all of it. They've also fixed Flood and Siphon missions not giving the Requiem relics, so you should get those on missions now as well. And they're also working on reducing the grind elements of the whole Lich system based off of feedback that you guys are constantly giving them, so at least there is that. But probably the biggest change that came in last night's update was given to our crit mods. True Steel and Sacrificial Steel both seen massive buffs. True Steel went from 60% to 120% at max rank, and Sacrificial Steel went from 88% crit chance to 220% crit chance at maximum rank, which is absolutely nuts. Now, since phase 2 of those melee changes, all of our weapon builds have had to be revisited. Some of our go-to weapons are no longer go-to weapons. The meta has shifted, and I guess a lot of the community is still trying to figure out what weapons they want to settle on or not settle on. Condition Overload and Blood Rush no longer work like they did before, and if you've not seen Brozyme's video on the Condition Overload nerf and the maths behind it, the mathematics behind it, then I would highly recommend that, because I know some players are still recommending dropping out Pressure Point and just using Condition Overload, which according to Brozyme's video is incredibly bad, so go and check it out. But with both of these changes to the critical steel mods from last night's update, it means that you can boost your crit chance on pretty much any melee weapon by a lot, especially if you equip the sacrificial version. However, these builds, if you're using the sacrificial steel mod, are going to cost you a lot more because it is more mod capacity, which means you're going to have to spend a lot more forma. Now I mean, Valkyr with Sacrificial Steel on her talons now has 160% crit chance, or 175 if you use both of these sacrificial mods on her. Now the meta is looking like it's going to be reverting back to crit builds, which is what we used to go to. Crit was the go-to for melee, and it's not like the crit builds ever really sucked, it's just the condition overload builds blew them clean out of the water. So now you can just go back to the crit. And also being able to run the gladiator mods on your Helios Primes deconstructor, along with some of those true steel or sacrificial steel mods equipped, you will still hit red crit territory in no time whatsoever. Now it is going to be fun to try out all of these different melee builds and see which weapons I like and which weapons I don't like. But by all means, let me know in the comment section of this video what you think of the Kuva Lich changes, and of course the crit mod changes more than anything. Do me a huge favour and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.